So you don't have to panic. Maybe the questions might not be as difficult as in first term or totally in-depth question, okay? Because I know the level and the speed we went. Is that clear? So that's how it will be asked, but we'll see the time. And the planning is already done to finish the certain lessons. I will not be talking about that right now. You'll see that in the monthly look ahead. Is that clear? So you'll see teacher has really kept a lot of portion. The reason I kept a lot of portion this month is because if we finish on time, later on we can again revise them, because revision might work better, okay, rather than speeding up at the last hour. Is that clear? So the aim is to try to finish within this unit test lot of portion, okay, then the and not all in the unit test trying to finish 1 week ahead, so that last week is for review week. So that's how I plan for 6, 7, 8, and 8. Because of 2 periods, it's so difficult to finish. It will not finish. So we thought is at least let us get a concept of all the topics rather than going too much depth in the same topic. Is that clear? Okay, so today, based on our topic itself here, vocational and general and vocational training, we're just going to continue the activity. It's not the same activity. So this was the thing that you got. So those people who have not done, I will be sending immediately a reminder in personal email of the parents. Okay, it will be notified. It will be communicated. So like you have a school diary, and then that's how things get communicated. So, how does it work? That's that's one of the ways. So here I'll just be writing immediately in Viber, but personally. More or less it might go personal. Is that clear? So yeah, based on your parents' Viber number itself, directly personally, I'll try to send quickly. So please try to finish them. So the day when I check it, if I find it is not there, I'll send it immediately. The same day, very same day. Okay, so general and vocational training. So let me just summarize this once again. So what do you see? People see that it is necessary for everyone, general and vocational training. Let me just say that from column wise. Okay, there are 2 types of training. Exactly, you can see in the book, page number. All of you go to page number 31. So exactly, you can just see. I told you we'll try to summarize and go and speed up little and just get the concept of all the topics. Okay, and the questions will also be coming in the same way.
Sir, what are we doing at doing this?
Okay, yes, I have a recording. I will try to keep the recording as quick as possible. Go to page number 31. That's what we are doing exactly right now. Okay, Soel.
I'm
Go to
not
page.
Soil, sir.
Not Soel, Isan. I'm sorry. So I'm sorry, Soel. Okay, Isan. I know
Okay,
that, but I saw that. I can see that, but it is by mistake. I already told you before some time. Sometimes the census doesn't work when you don't have enough rest, right? You know what is there, but you're speaking says something else. Okay, now there was a tongue slip also. Okay, so training education is very important. So you can see this whole thing is all about training, and we have already studied about training. Training and education are needed throughout life. Yes, training, because that has directly connection with occupation. That's what we studied in grade 6. So it's so easy. It's the same topic, isn't it? So it should look like repetition to you sometimes. Okay, but when it looks like repetition, doesn't mean that I just quickly jump to the another topic, and then there is a problem. You might not understand. Okay, some of them. So it's just trying to connect that in grade 6 we saw the connection between training and employment. That is one of the lesson. Do you remember? Yes. So however you did, the way of your teaching and learning might be different. Okay, but you got the concept. And next thing, it is related to essential skills required for every occupation. So that's what is about general and vocational training. Our main focus is to know about general and vocational training. Okay, and people being skillful and making the way to live. The 2 types of training are regional and national. How is that regional and national? And try not to go to the next line this way. Okay, itself it will fit here, and if it doesn't fit, there's another way. You can do it. So you see, it just goes this way. Is that clear? Try not to go to the next line. Are you all clear? Right now you're learning IT also, okay? Whatever the teacher, although the teacher is teaching OBT, the teacher is making you do in a thematic way that you use that skills that you learn in other subjects also. Okay, whatever you know, just use it. Although the main objective is OBT for OBT class. Okay. Okay. Now, in what do you think? There are different necessities of different training. Training gives everyone a great understanding of the responsibilities and knowledge and skills they need. Training gives everyone an understanding of the responsibilities and knowledge and skills they need for the particular job. Isan is there. Okay. Training gives knowledge and skills they need. Training gives required skill for particular occupation. So that's what they think. So you have written generally, okay? Like that's fine because it's itself saying general and vocational training. So, but you have to try to link more with what is general and vocational training based on this title than just going to this topic now. Are you clear? Whenever you get such topic, try to focus more on the whole topic over here. Think about this whole big picture here. Are you clear? Don't just start going to what is training, okay? Then start going back to yourself grade one where you start learning ABCD. Okay, that's going back again. So see the whole topic, whatever is the topic here, and write from that perspective. Are you all clear? Because the main topic is itself general and vocational training, and we have to see that whole topic and try to explain this whole topic, general and vocational training, not go back to what is training now only, although we need that. Okay. Okay, training gives required. Okay, so that's how it has been written. So please be more specific. And in feelings, education and training are needed for betterment. Education and training are the fundamentals for the development of knowledge and skill. Education is needed to make the world a better place. Training and education help the economy. Okay, so that's how what they feel. Okay, most of them you can see are looking similar. Okay, for next time's activity, you might be asked to again summarize everyone's and make your own chart. Is that clear? Where you don't repeat. For this time, let's stop this because we have to do the activity plus speed up it and summarize the content also. Okay, now all of you go to book page number 31, general and vocational training. So before we begin, you can talk about like what are the type of training that you know, what are training that you know. Okay, little bit of brainstorming once again. Yes, Uday, what trainings that you know. Okay, please turn your camera on. Saswat, Brahmin, Ipsa, Riva, Elisina, and Ayan. Ayan, I cannot
Yes,
see.
sir.
I can see your screen, or I don't know what is that. I can see your ceiling, or what was that wall? Okay. So even though I'm presenting, don't think I cannot see you. Okay. The thing is, there's a problem when there are more students. I can see all of them, but for grade 7, I can see most of you easily when I'm sharing. So what do you what type of training that you know? What are trainings that you know? I want everyone to write it in the chat box. Meanwhile, I ask you of them. Others, please write it in the chat box because I want everyone to get engaged. Okay, and write and try not to repeat if your friend has already written. Okay, and you know your friend has already written, then don't repeat that again. And I want everyone to write it very quickly. So whoever thinks first, that's the best. Like the is going to be very lucky. And if you are thinking very late, then you have to think of something else different. So see if you have repeated, then you write something else. Okay, you should not be repeating. See if your friend has already written, then write next one. So let's see. We can think very quickly in new ones. Is to make sure that you see your friend's answer also. Okay, so that you can see what they have written. Okay.
I'm so lucky. I got 1 second, 1 millisecond, as I did before. Mida,
Yeah. Okay,
one.
now Medha, you think something else? So this lesson we have already done almost similar lesson in lesson 2, showing relation between training and employment, right? And we have already understood what is training as well. Now, what is general training? What is vocational training? That's what we're trying to also know. So some of you have already written vocational training, skill-based training, general training. So can you give exact examples of training now? So you wrote about the types. Now, can you give exact example under that training also? What is that example now? Exactly, like maybe you can think of maybe personality development, training for making candles, training for carpentry, or whatever exactly. So don't repeat what I told, okay? So you have to think something different than what I told and what your friends are thinking, and they've already written. Is to make sure we are getting more and more examples, okay? And you read from each others also, okay? Rather than only lecture, this is how we can just understand as well. Tourism training, okay? Other types of training. Ian, today I don't know what happened. Like you're getting distracted. Please do not stand from your place often, okay? And do not turn your camera off at all. Ian, Elisina, and
Sir,
yeah,
is
Elisina told
market
internet problem.
sir, is marketing training a training too? Can we write it?
Yeah, if you
It's
think you
like business
can,
training only, no?
yeah.
Yeah, but different. No, little different. Still, it's counted.
Ishan, it is training.
Yeah, I guess there is training for that also. No,
Bruh, you,
It is
I
for
Ishan,
don't
you
know.
trading.
copied
Trading.
me. Bruh,
Huh?
no,
When
it's
when when I copied you,
bruh,
huh?
bruh,
Tell
bruh.
me,
You
tell me right
copied.
now.
I said it first, then you shut up.
Okay,
Copycat.
now let us start. Okay, I hope my like it has been recording. Okay, this transcribe chat today it's
What
a
is really
problem.
training?
So, what is quality training?
Yeah, what is that, Uday?
Sorry, if that's correct, then my is also correct.
Okay, so in case of training, you can see the some of the training might be like itself. It could be in the course for some of them. For some of them, even like it might not be in the course, and later on they
I
might have
wrote
to
two.
take that training itself. Okay, now no, your friends can see it. Okay, you don't have to say right now, and it has I have been recording as well. Like there's already a recording. If you want to see, you can just see there. The chat is always been recorded. Is that clear? So you don't have to inform me. I can see that easily later on who has given how much input there. Okay, in
Sorry,
that
chat
learning
is
from each
delaying.
other. Okay, that I will allow afterwards. Okay, yeah, if you want, yeah, I will allow that. You can check over there always. So you don't have to be copying that. You can always look at it later on because I told you we're trying to speed up. Means we will try to see where you always exactly need a teacher in the class. Is that clear? So that these things you can check it later on. You don't have to be copying also, so that we can work on time management as well. Is that clear? So within less time, we want to cover up more also, and we want to understand them also with 2 periods itself. So general and vocational training. This is the other topic. So I think now you can get the access. Did you get the access every time? Most of the time, okay. Except when I say there's a technical problem, I'm sorry. Then that's a different case. If not,
Sir,
whatever
I'm
is
connected. What are we doing?
yes. Can you see that link right now, which I sent you?
No, sir, can you send it again?
Okay,
Now I got it.
they all gave this input. Okay, so you can see that and understand. They wrote about the trainings, so that whoever misses also won't have a problem. Again, even if I speed up, I want to make sure most of you are understanding either by referring them. But I'm trying not to repeat. Okay, I'm trying to use the technology by recording to give you again the access, or by all this recording of the chat, everything, and that makes my computer slow. Okay, so for that you have to wait 1 or 2 minutes when I begin the class, and sometimes in the middle it might be a distraction because the capacity of the computer is not enough when I operate. Is that clear? Because it's trying to say that system is too like not able to handle me. Is that clear? The way I those speed that I work. So that's what it can happen. Okay, so now this is what we are going to learn about types of training, that is general and vocational training. So in general and vocational training, so we have already understood what is like training earlier as well, that we know that knowledge and skills are very important. We need knowledge. We can get those knowledge itself from school. From most of the school are focusing on giving knowledge than skills in the past. Okay, where it was moreover knowledge through lectures. Okay, no hands-on activity, no experiential learning, no skill development. Most of them, I'm not saying all of them, most of them in the past. But with the change in time, more or less, schools have been also focusing on skill based. Okay, whenever they give exam itself, some itself try to keep the topic known as skill based test. Okay, the test is totally based on skills only for few of the major subjects. So that's what are some of them. Like you can see, like the way we have been going, trying to talk about always like teamwork skills, collaboration skills, social skills, trying to talk all that. So because all these things are really needed in life. Okay, knowledge only is not enough. Although sometimes in recruitment, in some jobs, in government, okay, public service, they might, those type of people will be also still focusing on maybe knowledge and then skills and then attitude. Okay, attitude also counts a lot. Okay, now, so training is all about like knowledge and skill. It is trying to gain that. So for this, in this case, we have a general education. So you can see itself in introduction, and after that, relation between education and training for employment. We studied this in lesson 2. We made a connection between education and training, but we don't need this for now. Okay, it's just a recall of prior knowledge. We're just trying to recall them. And after this, introduction to general education now. So what is general education? So general education, and we're trying to understand about training. In case of general education, this is what we are getting all from school. We're getting those knowledge from school. We're getting all those, like it's taught from different subjects, like language, LA, that's what you've been studying. More or less, it's the objective is to understand the knowledge of communication, how to communicate, like how to speak, how to read, how to write, how to listen, right? Listening skills, speaking skills, reading skills, writing skills, all these different forms of communications are the main objective of teaching language arts in those subject. And same way with another subject, that is mathematics, is trying to help you how to calculate. Exactly, you'll be learning to calculate. Maybe junior classes, you just learn how to add, subtract, divide, multiply. Slowly you could see your calculation of algebra, geometry, everything was coming. More or less, it's all about calculation. Yes or no? Isn't it or not? Everywhere it's involving calculations. Whatever you do there, geometry or anything, uh, everywhere it is involving calculation. Next way, science. In case of science, it's like trying to study about the knowledge and behavior. It's trying to study about the structure and behavior. What is the structure? Okay, like what are the structures of that? What is the structure of that particular organism? What is the structure of that particular cell? What is the structure of let's say, what is the structure of galaxy? What is the structure of let's say, in case of electricity, different devices? Okay, and all those, how they work, what is their behavior, and all these things are also being taught in case of science. So you have already, your science teacher has been more or less telling what is that science subject also exactly about. And same way, like in case it's teaching you to connect with the physical and natural world, where you are observing and experimenting. Most of the time, you are asked to observe. Maybe sometimes you're asked to observe the growth of the plant, right? In which day, how much was the height? So that's itself for observation. Same way, you might be asked to observe and the plants, maybe in botanical garden or different places, and
Sir,
identify. Yes, also.
sir. Like, why do we need to study science for IT? Science. We can only need
Computer
to
science,
study
I guess.
maths. No.
Okay. So why do we need to study science when you're taking IT? Yes, it has some connection. Okay, you need to have some connection. If you're working for IT, for what are you going to do that IT work about? Which field are you going to make it easier to work? Is it relating to, let's say, maybe sometimes you have to know you are going to develop a software for science, maybe for physics. Physics is itself calculation also to some extent. Then you have to know that knowledge because you're going to develop certain software for that field. Yes or no? If you don't have a knowledge of that field, then what software will you make? What like what thing will you make? So that's why you have to have a concept to some extent. That's why it can be kept with that theme. Is it clear, Soya? Same way, that's why all the subjects are sometimes
Right.
combined, because you need to know the knowledge, no? Like what is that field about, and because you'll be facilitating another field. Like you'll be trying to make sure that work is easier. Like you studied about the history of computer, how Blaise Pascal started, like Pascal line to different history. You can see they had to have a knowledge of, to some extent, either software slowly, but there was a time, and to some extent they had to know that another field had to be facilitated to make the work easier. Yes or no? So that's why you need the knowledge of other fields, other field that's linked with IT, so that IT can facilitate that work or whatever software is there. Like if you're making a software, you don't know what is accounting. How will you make a software for an account? Yes or no? So whatever field you are making, you have to have a knowledge of the other field. Is that clear? IT itself, you cannot keep it. Okay, you have to more or less most of the things go within the same thematic approach. Some of those topics. That's why, like marketing, like you are studying rural development, but marketing is also there. Finance is also there. Most of the topics on there, because you'll be working within that theme. It's not that you'll be a science teacher or an IT teacher for school only. When you work in the field, you have to have knowledge of most of the fields. If you are a manager, then maybe you have to you have to know of most of the things to some extent, because you have to coordinate many things. Yes or no? How can you coordinate and how can you plan and manage when you yourself don't have that proper knowledge, and along with knowledge, skills as well. Okay, more important might be the skills. Okay, but knowledge also takes important role. If you are always like you don't know anything and only you ask somebody else to do it, then then it takes longer time. Then that manager or leader might take longer time than the other manager who knows that field and makes his team very like, quick to work in that field. So that's why you need the knowledge, you need the skills. Okay, it's not that you just assign someone, everyone, and you keep on asking who can do that work, and it takes so much time if you have to keep on searching people. So that's why although it's good that they have a knowledge of different fields so that they can work out. Same with social science is to study all about the culture, history, geography, and you already saw the objective of social studies itself during the curriculum orientation. And same way you'll be having that curriculum orientation year by year, so that it's trying to teach the different topics. Okay, moral science to learn about the ethics, moral values. And in case of Japan, you can see they're teaching more or less about the ethics and value-based learning till grade 1, 2, 3, 4, rather than directly going to the content of teaching all the top subjects. But it doesn't mean that we have to follow them. But maybe if we see that that product are better in the future, means that is the best way. Yes or no? That's what I said. Right now, whatever Finland is doing, we have to see the results afterward. And if the result comes out that the products are getting better, means that is the best way to do the education. That means. isn't it or not? So that's how we can think. But right now, immediately, whatever they do, I don't think we have to apply that immediately. That's my perspective. But more or less, I know it works out, okay, because they're already developed and they don't make so bad decisions at all. Okay, so that's about general education. So that's what we have been getting in the school, college, this general education. Is it clear? Now our main topic is about general training and vocational training. That's what we did in grade 6. So in case of general training, you can see just trying to talk about the general or basic skills that we need. Okay, so this comes under general training. For example, the training can be anything. Okay, training to run a cooperative or anything. Training to use a computer, that's itself a general training. And next type of training is vocational training. So in case of vocational training, in case of vocational training, that's skill oriented training. Okay, you can say that to some extent. But in case of vocational training, that is focused on preparing people for exactly certain kind of trade or craft, so that people can work in that field. Okay, whatever is the trade training some of you wrote, or craft. So that's another type of training. So it mainly focuses on development of, mainly it's all about skills. Okay, skills for particular occupation. Basic, we had primary level occupation, medium level, and higher level, right? So you can think about the primary level type of thing itself, so that it can have different skill based training. In case of engineering, health, tourism, management, agriculture, different fields that we studied about the types of occupation. Based on different, we have different training for different fields. Like you are working in a bank, you might be asked to have a training on computer if you have not studied that earlier. Or sometimes the software of computer that is used in bank will be also different. Is that clear? Because different companies will have different software which might look different. But if you have a concept, you can learn and understand it easily. But if you don't even know how to read and write, how will you use that? Yes or no? So I mean to say that for that person, it takes long time to learn, whereas the person who has already used that software will take certain time to understand the concept. Within maybe 1 or 2 days, a concept can be easily understood. So that's a vocational training. And another is livelihood training. It's all for livelihood, how to this to make sure they earn their living, for normal living type of income. So for normal type of training for livelihood. So for normal livelihood, okay, for their meeting the basic necessities, okay, normal type of work, like it's a preparing papad or anything, that's itself can be known to be as livelihood training. Same way, training for employment or skill-based training. Can you see itself like training for employment is itself offers relating to training that's required for employment. Same way, training for self-employment. We studied that types of employment as self-employment in grade 6. Yes or no? So another type of employment is training for self-employment, where you can get yourself employed into that job. Photography, that you are a freelancer, that's itself self-employment. Training to run different professions, that itself another training. So different skill-based training, skill-based self-employment training. So this is skill-based self-employment training, training for self-employment. And finally, business training is to run business, so that there can be so that they can know how to run a business successfully, make a business plan, how to plan a business so that you can get a good profit. So while making profit also, you can calculate all of that, which will be using your account knowledge to everything. Okay, how to register the business, how to get the different products that you need for that particular business that you're doing, uh, how to do the accounting, how to keep a track of the transaction. That you studied about finance. Yes or no? In finance, you studied about the accountant, assistant accountant, isn't it? So those were the, so all these things also will be coming under business training if you have not studied in that particular field. Sometimes the training might be there because things have changed with time, but it is not kept in the course. Is that clear? So these are the various types of training. So I told you we'll be summarizing most of the contents, looking at this time management also. So do you have any confusion? Did you understand the main concept, the training and the different types of training and what is under that?
Yes, sir.
So do you think it's a problem when we speed up, or this much speed is fine? Because I told you we want to work on time management and also try to finish the course also as much
Yeah,
as
sir.
possible.
And if we are confused, we can look again, like review.
Yeah, because when you do the assignment, then again you will know where you didn't understand and you can again ask. Is that clear? So that it will go fast also. If you always depend on teacher's lecture, then it will go slow. Okay, thank you so much. I will be keeping the recording most of the time as well. Okay.